Where does faith and religion come from?
Why do people believe in a higher power?
And why do a lot of people have no religion?
Spirituality, science, conflict,
Society, and life after death.
these are all things we'll be exploring in
Generation Y.
Namaste. My name is Sadgun. I'm 14 years old. I'm also a Hindu. Hinduism is a religion that teaches its followers the cultural way of life. And we also believe that there's only one God who appeared in different forms at different time periods. The temple is my worship place, so it's very close to my heart and my beliefs, and I come here every week and even on festivals like Diwali and on my birthday along with my family. I love maths, playing board games, solving puzzles, and that's just a bit about me.
Hi, I'm Alex, I'm 15 and I'm from Manchester. That's why I brought you to the Manchester Cathedral. I'm a Christian, however there's some aspects of the religion I don't believe in, for example the book of Genesis, or how the world was created. I love living in Manchester because of how many different religions there are here. And in my spare time, I love doing art, drama, and I love history. And that's just a little bit about me.
Sadgun and I went to meet Dr. Chris Deasy from the University of Kent at the Savoy Cinema in Stockport to find out how much influence religion and philosophy has on what we interact with every day.
It's lovely to see you guys because we are here in the cinema. My area of expertise is religion and philosophy and theology and film. We're going to look at a few clips from some films that you might or might not have seen. I don't know if you've seen, for example, the Star Wars film The Last Jedi.
No.
Because there are lots of people who claim to be Jedis. So we're going to kind of see how a film can possibly sort of give birth to an entire religious tradition. And this is all about Rey and Luke Skywalker finding the Force.
I thought that they were talking about someone who controls like the energy in the world, nature, death, decay. It sounds a lot to me like in my religion how we portray God to be.
I personally think that this had a Buddhism point of view. It talks about force and energy and finding the internal energy and connecting with the universe.
After watching part of The Last Jedi, we watched a clip from Marvel's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Shuri takes the herb again and goes back to the ancestor realm, but sees a different person. She sees Killmonger and they both have a discussion about their choices. Killmonger has died in the first movie and then he's now in the ancestor realm being on his own. So I think it links to Hinduism, Christianity, the fact that they believe in life after death, and then maybe you can connect to your ancestors in a way.
The last clip was from Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
You are a product of all who came before you.
So we just watched a clip from a movie about yin and yang, or good and bad.
Like Ramayana and Mahabharata, the holy books of Hinduism, where Lord Rama faces lots of trouble and Rama has to find his own path, face loads of challenges like crossing the ocean by his own.
And I thought there was so much in there as well about passing a story down to a different generation. These films were really good, I thought, at showing that magic and science and religion and personal sacrifice are all bound up. I think we can take a lot from those films in our own lives. What a great way to get things started.
It was. I think we can forget that religion affects everyone's life, whether they're religious or not.
That's true. And because of this, beliefs and attitudes change over time, alongside our society.
Religion can be dated back thousands of years. Hinduism is said to be one of the oldest, and Judaism wasn't far behind.
Although faiths rise and fall in popularity over time. Zoroastrianism, which is said to be the third oldest religion, only has about 200,000 followers worldwide.
Compared to Hinduism, which has around 1 billion members. Many more have remained popular too, despite being really old.
Christianity and Islam are actually quite recent by comparison and are the two most popular religions in the UK.
According to a big census, or survey, done every 10 years, less than half of the population in England and Wales describe themselves as Christian.
This is the first time that's ever happened on record. While some religions are declining in numbers, there was an increase in the number of people identifying as Muslim. Hinduism, Sikhism, and paganism have risen.
And the biggest increase was seen in shamanism, increasing more than tenfold. Having no religion has risen a lot too, and now makes up 40% of people's beliefs. This is all happening for reasons like aging, fertility,
mortality, and migration.
And we can't forget how social media has had a big part to play in spreading awareness.
And it brings many beliefs and communities together.
A good example is witch talk. Have you heard of it?
I have, and witches can be found in different religious and non-religious circles.
It can also be linked to paganism, which is on the rise.
I met with Tara, who's pagan, and her mum Maggie, who's a witch, to find out more about their beliefs.
Pumpkins, potions, spells, all things we may associate with being a witch. But there's more to it. Wicca is a modern religion rooted in traditions older than Christianity and is very spiritual. It's a form of modern witchcraft that has close links to paganism. I went to meet 12-year-old Tara, who has identified herself as a pagan since she was 7. She shares similar beliefs with her mum Maggie, who's a witch. But what does practicing witchcraft really mean?
I'm a person who creates spells, believes in angels. So I take a little bit from Buddhism and a little bit of Hinduism, a little bit of Christianity, and I blend it into my own form of spirituality, and I class myself as witch.
Your friends at school, for example, what do they think about your belief system?
We had a sleepover the other day and we did fortune telling, reading the books, doing runes.
When I came out of the broom closet, people were very open. They go, oh my goodness, what is this? From my research, I noticed that there was a lot of people online, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Witch Talk, sharing their identity as witches. I think it's become more accepted now. My mum, very much Roman Catholic, nothing else, now accepts us for our spirituality, which is not the same as hers.
In here, I've got most of my witchy books, what I use. Here is the Book of Shadows. Not every witch has the same book. It's not like the Bible, but you can write all your own spells in here. This is casting the circle. We'll go clockwise. We'll have north, what is earth, and you'll put something what symbolises earth, and you'll put east, something air, and you'll put fire, and then west, water. When you go around, you'll say, hi, guardians of the north. I'm not going to say the rest because I don't want them to come right now, but when they come, and when you invite all of them in, and you'll sit down, say what you want to say, or you can light a candle. All you say is just, thank you for visiting, blessed be. And then it's really empowering.
After our chat at home, we went to a Stonehenge at Brockholes Nature Reserve, a place which encourages energy.
Would this be the perfect environment for undertaking a magic spell?
It would if there wasn't that many people around.
We use nature a lot in our witchcraft by collecting acorns. What else have we collected?
Sticks and other stuff just to help do the spells.
Maggie had one last message for me.
It's not an evil hag who's going to be in league with the devil. It's actually somebody who loves nature, somebody who loves people, and somebody who just wants to make the world better.
It's interesting to see how different people find their faith.
Yes, and I found in my research that faith has a lot to do with someone's background, education, and life experience. Your beliefs could be because of your family's influence, where you live, what you're exposed to, like friends and media, or even a major life event.
I've grown up in a place where there's so many different beliefs. I couldn't count the number of religions at my school, so that's definitely influenced me.
Well, I thought it would be nice to have an open conversation with people who have different beliefs from each other. As we've been discovering so far, religion can take many different forms. So I'm here at the East Manchester Academy to find out what some young people think about what religion means in their lives.
14-year-old Winnie was born in Ghana and is Christian. Yazan moved to the UK from Syria 7 years ago and is Muslim, and Daniel is Sikh. I asked them if their religion is a big part of their lives.
I was born into Christianity, so naturally I just became a Christian because the teachings in the Bible kind of tells us how to live, how to get closer to God. When you're feeling sad, angry, or just too emotional, the Bible can help you
I was also born into Islam. However, I am Muslim by choice. It guides me in everything and every action that I do.
We only have one God. We also have, you could say, 11 gurus. The last guru is not a person, it's our religious book that we read in our temples or gurdwaras. In my religion, we keep God made us this way for a reason, so we should respect it. This is called a kara. I would keep like a small knife on me or, a giant blade. It's just for defense and for respect.
There's a lot of things that I'm commanded to do and that I must do. And there are some things that I do them by choice to get closer to God. You also should be fasting during the month of Ramadan. We abstain from drinking water or eating food from sunrise to sunset.
Are there lots of misconceptions? Are you always finding that you're having to explain?
Well, the reason why a lot of these misconceptions are caused is that because people don't really have contact with a lot of actual educated Muslims.
Some people get misconcepted with the Old and the New Testament. They feel like because the New Testament is from Jesus, like you need to learn about the Old Testament. You learn both half-half, because in the Old Testament, it said that an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But in the New Testament, it says that if somebody slaps you, you turn the other cheek.
I feel like a lot of the media tries to separate religions away from each other. They might try to create conflict between Islam and Christianity. They're so similar to the point where even back in Syria, when it is Ramadan and when all the Muslims fast, some Christians will fast just like us to show their support.
I wished I'd had those kinds of chats when I was your age too. But we are going to carry on the conversation in our Generation Y group chat.
Our first one will be right up next.
Welcome back to Generation Y.
In this episode's group chat, we went to the East Manchester Academy.
Yes, I spoke to a humanist called Kate, Christian student Triumph, Maggie, who we've already met, and Mariam, who's a member of the Coptic Orthodox Church, an African and Middle Eastern denomination of Christianity. And you got us some great questions from the audience.
I did, and then Sadgun spoke to 4 incredible students.
As this is called Generation Y, my question for everyone on the panel is, why are we here?
Pagans would say, whoever it's under the umbrella term of pagan, because there are many, such as heathens, Wiccans, witches, solitary, druids. They would say to make the earth a better place. But I feel my purpose on earth is people come to your life for a reason, and often I've been there to give them a bit of love and light.
As Christians, we believe that we're trying to get to eternal life and to be reunited with our God in heaven.
I think that we're here because God has willed us to look after the earth, make sure we're fruitful and multiply so we can all worship Him, and then in the end, obviously, life after death, to have eternal life.
And from a humanist perspective, Kate, why are we here?
I believe we're here completely by chance. I think the Earth and the universe came about because of the Big Bang Theory, and evolution brought us from that to where we are now. I don't think there is a God.
My name is Kareed, I'm 13, and what made you choose your beliefs and why?
Whether you would even call humanism a faith, I think, is an important part.
It's a belief system. I discovered this whole group of other people called humanists that had been on the go since Aristotle that I knew nothing about. Nobody mentioned it when I was at school in RE. And so I didn't make a choice. I felt like I'd come home.
Apart from it being introduced to me at a very young age by my parents, I feel like because I was shown, how to get closer to God, how to, practice the religion, I feel like I had built a connection with God.
I was also born into a family of Christians who naturally baptised me as a baby. So you might have been baptised, but then you could live a whole life, a non-Christian life. So for me, I choose to go on and as a Christian because those values really resonate with me, being kind, loving the earth and each other.
My name is Jordan, I'm 13, and my question is it difficult to have parents with 2 different religions?
My daughter was brought up by 2 parents from 2 different faiths. So I was pagan, her dad is Church of England. We both agreed very early on that it's her choice, it's Tara's choice, not ours. She has explored Islam, Christianity, Hinduism. We've been to a mandir, we've been to Sikh Gurdwara, we have met witches. We've also looked at people who are atheists. She has chosen herself where she's at, and we're okay with that. If she changes her mind over the years, it's her choice.
My name is Esther, my age is 12, and my question is, have you ever thought about changing your religion?
No.
Maggie?
Yes, I was Roman Catholic. I'm now a witch, so I've already changed it.
Right.
Absolutely not.
If the day came when someone could give me evidence that a God existed, I would then change my faith.
What happens when we disagree with each other? Because we've got so many different perspectives here. I think we probably agree on many things, maybe we disagree on others. But how does that play out, whether it's in terms of witchcraft or humanism or different varieties of Christianity?
I think you're human, you're beautiful as who you are. I believe that when you die, you go to maybe the ether, you may not go to a heaven, for instance. But that doesn't mean that you're wrong.
A lot of the biblical texts or even the Quran, love is like the centre of a lot of religions, and I think if we can agree on that commonality, then we can agree that violence, conflict and disagreements probably don't coincide with those beliefs.
I think it's important that even though we do disagree on a lot of stuff, we have to know that we do agree on some, and that we should find a middle path to coexist and accept each other's beliefs.
The challenges arise for me in that a lot of religions try to impose their ethical views on others.
My name is Leah, I'm 13 years old, and my question is, do you believe there's different ways to pray to your God?
The Bible tells us to come as we are, so we just, whether you're on your bed, whether you're on the way to school, you can just pray. It's just a matter of, connecting with God, speaking to Him.
For example, in Islam, you'd have the 5 daily prayers. In my church, in the Coptic Orthodox Church, we also have 5 daily prayers. You can have an open dialogue, you can say what you like to God.
It might be collectively in a group, which you'd know as the word coven, and it might be where you group and you dance and you sing with people to a goddess. But it's basically meditation, and it is reflection and thinking of intention, what you want to happen.
My name is Olivia, I'm 13 years old, and my question is, are there certain parts of religion which cross over? And if so, what does that mean for both religions?
I think today, in the 21st century, there's something called the spiritual marketplace. So on social media, a lot of people are exploring their own sense of spirituality that's broader than the big 6 religions.
I think a lot of young people are given the space to question what they were born with. But there are so many overlaps between religions. Obviously, Triumph was saying the Abrahamic religions are the obvious one. The Torah, the Quran and the Bible are so similar.
My name is Jessica, I'm 12 years old, and my question is, do you find it hard to follow all the rules of your religion?
No, because there's 2. Do whatever you want, just don't harm anyone. And what you give out comes back threefold. So as a witch, if I give out positivity and kindness, I will get that back.
Don't steal anything, don't lie to people, that makes sense, but sometimes we do still get that wrong, and that's fine. We believe in redemption and forgiveness. Some rules don't quite make sense to you, and I think you should go with what your gut says and what you feel to be true.
So what does following a religion mean to you?
I think it's what I am, I actually am.
It is to be with a whole community and to be quite loving and caring.
And we should just be good citizens and try not to sin.
Personally, me being a Hindu means that I respect everyone and then everyone's opinions. So even though we all have different beliefs, at the end of the day, we're human, so we must respect each other. If you think that you were not following a religion, do you think you would be a different person that you are now?
Not really, because I was born into Christianity, so I don't really think.
I think I would be a bit different because obviously some religions have different rules.
No, I don't think so, because David, I was born into Christianity, and as myself without my religion, I do like being caring and respectful.
I don't think I'd either change either.
If I say the word witch, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
The word witch, when it comes to my mind, is the opposite of my religion.
When I hear the word witch, not to stereotype, but I would think that it kind of links to sin and these evil spells and witchcraft.
I think of Satan and hell. I don't, especially me personally, think that it's something that I'd ever follow, because it's just how I've been brought up
based on the things I've read and based like the movies I've watched, which is always portrayed like as the bad side and as the...
So after listening to today's panel discussions and watching today's video, has the word witch and the opinion about it changed your mind?
Yeah, it's not really what I think it is. I think like there's more to the word and the religion.
No, my opinion on witchism hasn't changed. I don't think it will change.
Yes, it has changed because I used to see witches as quite evil, but then after seeing in the panel an actual witch's perspective, I actually saw that they actually want to be like respectful and caring to others, like and being a whole community.
Mine has kind of changed because some witches, like the lady who was here earlier, my perspectives have changed for them because they are like quite kind and like Christians and any other religion. So, but at the same time, it hasn't.
So why do you think it is important to respect and learn about different beliefs?
It's just better for our IQ and so that we don't be like rude or discriminate anyone.
If we didn't understand other beliefs, then we wouldn't be an actual community.
It's just better to educate yourself about other things before you try and judge it and stuff like that.
Social media is a big thing for us these days. Everyone's on phones. So do you think religion is portrayed in a good or bad way in media?
If I were to count the videos, it'd be like 6 videos about God coming and how we should get closer to God. So I feel like based on my religion, social media portrayed it in a good way.
I think social media portrays everything in the way that they want to portray it. So, for example, you might think like about other religions that this is a bad religion and that because of what you've seen on social media. So I think that before you want to judge or say something about someone else's religion, you should dig deep into it, talk about it, learn about it, because at the end of the day, if you judge it, then it's not going to bring you any, it's not going to bring you happiness, and it's just going to cause other people, sadness and stuff.
For example, you're a Hindu. If I wanted to become a Hindu, I would rather go to you than search up how to be a Hindu, because there might be, hateful things there which might want you to change your mind.
So how does religion influence or affect your day-to-day life?
It affects my day-to-day life, literally every single minute. When I wake up, I pray. When I'm about to eat, I pray. When I'm about to go to bed, I pray. When I'm speaking to other people, like David said, I try and limit myself from things that could be offensive.
It makes me a better person following that religion, because it's talking about us being together and not being rude or offending other religions.
I think that it definitely helps us day to day, because without God I wouldn't be here right now, and God helps us to be good with his good morals and teachings.
Thank you so much, guys.
That was an awesome chat.
It was, and nice to hear people be so thoughtful and open about different beliefs.
But that's all we have time for now. So join us again next time on
Generation Y.
Y.